Today is Monday, June 17th. What to know about an extreme heat wave, snow, and wildfires all hitting the U.S. this week. Also, what the Supreme Court decided in a highly anticipated case over gun regulation and how Congress is responding. Plus, the latest announcements from the 2024 campaign teams, a health update from Britain's Princess Kate, and highlights from Broadway's biggest night. Those stories and even more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, this week is expected to bring weather extremes to the U.S. That includes a widespread heat wave from the Midwest into the Northeast that could break records. Unusually high temperatures for this time of year are expected, even in large cities like Chicago, Washington, D.C., New York City, and Boston. The extreme heat is expected to last all week, day and night, today through Friday. Oh, and it's expected to be humid, so temps will feel even hotter. Meanwhile, some parts of the northern Rocky Mountains could see much lower than average temperatures for this time of year, and even some snow. Though at least in that part of the country, temps are expected to get back to normal by the middle of the week. Right now, several fast-moving wildfires are spreading across California. The largest one is burning in the southern part of the state, northwest of Los Angeles. Because of it, about 1,200 people had to evacuate, and a major freeway had to temporarily shut down. As of this morning, it's just 2% contained, and it's creating unhealthy air quality throughout the region as far south as San Diego. Meanwhile, hundreds of people had to evacuate in the northern part of the state, near Lake Sonoma, because of a different fire that's now just 15% contained. And it's impacting air quality throughout much of the Bay Area. Unfortunately, there's even more risk for wildfires over the next several days. The National Weather Service expanded red flag warnings throughout many parts of the state. The U.S. Supreme Court issued another controversial ruling, this time about guns. In a 6-3 decision, the justices struck down a ban on bump stocks. Now, in case you're not familiar, bump stocks are devices you can attach to a semi-automatic rifle to make it fire as fast as machine guns. And the Trump administration outlawed the attachments in the wake of the most deadly mass shooting in modern American history. It was 2017 when a gunman in Las Vegas used a bump stock that allowed him to fire more than 1,000 rounds into a crowded music festival in 11 minutes. Machine guns themselves have been effectively banned for most Americans since the 1930s. And the ATF, under former President Trump, argued the ban should apply to the attachments as well. It was a rare gun control decision that, at the time, won support from Democrats, Republicans, and even the NRA. But a gun shop owner challenged that ban. And on Friday, most Supreme Court justices sided with him, saying the ATF exceeded its power, that only Congress has the ability to change the law to ban bump stocks. Though it is worth noting, they supported lawmakers doing just that. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said he plans to bring up a vote this week. It's not clear how that vote will go, though, as some GOP lawmakers have already said they'll vote against a ban. So, to be continued. Detectives are now trying to figure out what motivated a gunman behind a mass shooting in Michigan over the weekend. The active shooter opened fire at a crowded splash pad in Rochester Hills, about 30 minutes north of Detroit. Investigators described the shooting as random, saying the man did not live in the town and had no connection to the 9 people he shot. At least 2 of those people are now in critical condition, including an 8-year-old boy. Police say the shooter may have been planning even more attacks, but he ended up dying by suicide during a police standoff at his home. The man had no criminal history, but it is believed he had mental health issues. Law enforcement is still investigating. There could be at least a little bit of relief coming for Palestinians in war-torn Gaza. Israel's military says during the daytime hours, at least, it's going to pause fighting along a route in the southern part of the Strip. The goal is to free up a backlog of humanitarian aid deliveries, and it could help address an overwhelming need, since the UN says hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are now on the brink of famine. Now, keep in mind, this pause is far short of the complete ceasefire the Biden administration and other international leaders have been pushing for. Israel and Hamas are still considering that deal, but neither side has fully embraced it. One more note on humanitarian aid. Over the weekend, the U.S. sanctioned an Israeli extremist group that's apparently been blocking convoys into Gaza for months now. Videos show some members looting the convoys, throwing aid packages into the road, even setting trucks on fire. And in some cases, police did not intervene. So on top of the new sanctions, the U.S. is calling on the Israeli government to also hold people accountable and make sure the humanitarian convoys are safe. About 2 billion Muslims are celebrating one of Islam's biggest holidays. We're talking about Eid al-Adha, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice, which started over the weekend. Here in the U.S., most Muslims have been marking the holiday by visiting mosques, attending community gatherings, sharing festive meals, exchanging gifts, and giving to charity. It also marks the final days of Hajj, which is the yearly Muslim pilgrimage to visit the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. All Muslims who are physically and financially able are supposed to complete the pilgrimage at least once in their lifetimes. This year, people participating faced suffocating heat, so security forces and medics were deployed to help. But even in the face of brutal conditions, many people in the crowd still expressed joy at being able to take part. More news is coming up, but first, thanks to our sponsor, Boll & Branch. All right, I'm guessing you've experienced this too. You're tossing and turning, trying to get to sleep, or maybe it's the middle of the night, and you've got one leg under the sheets, another sticking out, and you just can't get comfortable. Well, if you run hot when you sleep, Boll & Branch has amazing options for you. Choose from 100% organic cotton percale that's made with a naturally cooling weave, or their linen, which is made from European flax to be light, airy, and softer than soft. I love that Boll & Branch offers such great options, but really, you cannot go wrong with Boll & Branch. I personally have stuck with their best-selling signature hemmed sheets. They're super breathable and are great for both cooler and warmer weather. I paired those sheets with a linen duvet set from Boll & Branch, and I honestly am so comfortable in my bed every night. It's all buttery soft and breathable, yet still cozy. So get your coolest, most comfortable sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets when you use our promo code NEWSWORTHY at bollandbranch.com. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com, promo code NEWSWORTHY for 15% off plus free shipping. Exclusions apply, so see site for details. Okay, now back to the news. Britain's Princess Kate returned to the public eye over the weekend. She attended the Trooping of the Colour, which is a parade to celebrate King Charles' birthday. That was her first public appearance since announcing she was diagnosed with cancer about 3 months ago. It wasn't a total surprise, though. The princess released a statement Friday evening announcing her plans to go to the celebration. She also gave an update on her health, explaining that she had a few more months left in her chemotherapy treatment, but was making good progress. Kate says even though she's not out of the woods yet, with both good days and bad days, she looks forward to doing more public engagements this summer. Both President Biden and former President Trump held big campaign events this weekend. For Biden, it was a glitzy Los Angeles fundraiser featuring stars like Julia Roberts, George Clooney, Barbra Streisand, Jimmy Kimmel, and former President Obama. That event brought in at least $28 million for the Biden campaign, which breaks the Democratic Party record for the most cash raised in one night. The president has held a fundraising advantage over former President Trump for much of the 2024 campaign so far. But Trump has shown some big fundraising strength in recent weeks, too. And of course, he's still campaigning. Just this past weekend, the former president visited Detroit, and his team launched a Black Voter Coalition group. Black voters have overwhelmingly supported Democrats in past elections. But this time, they have been unusually open to Trump in public polling. The Biden-Harris campaign launched its own Black Voter Coalition group last month, showing that's a voting bloc that could be crucial to victory in November. A Live Golf League captain is now a U.S. Open champion again. Bryson DeChambeau won the whole thing yesterday by just one stroke over Rory McIlroy. That makes DeChambeau a two-time U.S. Open winner, since he also claimed victory back in 2020. But this time, he's taking home a first-place prize of $4.3 million. By the way, Scottie Scheffler finished 41st this weekend, making it his worst major performance in 2 years. Speaking of sports, one of the most well-known basketball commentators is getting ready to turn in his microphone for good. Charles Barkley announced he will be retiring from TV after next NBA season. He's been considered a broadcasting icon since he joined NBA on TNT soon after retiring as a player back in 2000. So this is a big change. Barkley's announcement comes as TNT could be on the brink of losing broadcast rights. Barkley was set to become one of the most sought-after free agents in sports media. But he says no matter what happens with the TV deals, he's out, and he's hoping to pass the baton to one of his TNT teammates. As expected, last night's Tony Awards was a star-studded, glamorous night. Best New Musical went to The Outsiders, an adaptation of the same Outsiders story that was told as a novel in 1967 and then as a movie in 1983. all about young boys growing up in rival gangs. The Tony for Best Play went to Stereophonic, which follows a fictional 1970s rock band. It actually won 5 Tonys, making it the most awarded show of the night. It was also a big night for a lot of Hollywood actors who are better known for their movies and TV show roles than their theater experience. For example, actors Jeremy Strong, Daniel Radcliffe, and Sarah Paulson all won their first Tonys. Angelina Jolie won her first one too, since she was the lead producer on The Outsiders. Other special guests included Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, Eddie Redmayne, and Hillary Clinton. And the whole thing was hosted by Ariana DeBose for the 3rd year. Now all the productions, win or lose, are getting back to work performing their shows on Broadway. That's it for the main news, so now it's time for Money Monday, when we talk about one interesting money-related news story. But first, I want to take a moment to talk about our sponsor, Lumi. Okay, it is that time of year now. Vacation season is in full swing. And when you're riding in the car for hours or running through airports, not to mention wanting to look and smell great for the actual vacation part, you're going to want a deodorant you can trust. And that's why I love Lumi Whole Body Deodorant. It's clinically proven to block BO all day long. And you can use it anywhere you get odor, giving you head-to-toe confidence all trip long. Plus, Lumi offers travel-sized minis that are perfect for your toiletry bag or airport carry-on. I appreciate the deodorant wipes that are easy to throw in a bag and make you feel fresh in seconds. Lumi's starter pack is also perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine that 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. So use code NEWSWORTHY for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code NEWSWORTHY at Lumi, L-U-M-E, deodorant, DEODORANT.com. Okay, now back to Money Monday. Elon Musk is not the only CEO eyeing a big raise. An executive data firm Equilar put out a yearly analysis of CEO pay recently. It looks at salaries, bonuses, perks, stock awards, and other pay components from hundreds of top executives. Well, it says the median CEO pay went up by nearly 13% last year. That's more than 3 times the raise private sector workers saw overall. In fact, at half of the workplaces in this year's survey, it would take the worker at the middle of their company's pay scale almost 200 years to make what their CEO did in 1 year. So just how much are CEOs making exactly? Well, Equilar says the median pay package of CEOs hit about $16.3 million last year. Some of the reason their pay has gone up is because, in many cases, CEO pay is tied to performance. Of course, the median is still nothing compared to what Elon Musk could be getting. Remember, we told you last week Tesla shareholders approved a $48 billion payout for CEO Elon Musk. And that's more than the GDP of dozens of countries. And it's tens of thousands of times what a median Tesla worker makes in a year. And don't forget, Musk will also be bringing in money from X, SpaceX, The Boring Company, and more. Well, thank you so much for listening and starting your week with us. Be sure to follow or subscribe to the Newsworthy podcast in your favorite podcast app to get new episodes every day for free. We'll be back to keep you up to date on the news you need to know tomorrow. For now, have a great day.